Hey, peace and blessings. Good morning. I want to talk a little bit about something called isolation mode, isolation mode. Excuse me. Sometimes God puts you in a state of isolation, where it means you have to cut off, like social activities. Stay to yourself, things of that sort. Excuse me, like things of that sort. Stay to yourself, get spiritually strong, cloak yourself in the armor of God. It's God's time for you to, spiritually level up. So, he's bringing you away from certain things. Maybe you got out of a relationship, maybe your friend, your best friend, y'all fell out. Maybe, you lost a job. Maybe, it's a lot of things that could put you in isolation mode, but you got to realize, if you're chosen or if you're a lover of Christ, Yeshua, God is putting you in isolation mode for you to take the time, for you to take that time to spiritually level up. You just have to do the groundwork. You have to put in the work, spiritually level up. I myself I just came out of isolation. I was in isolation for a few years, like a year and a half, and I realized I was chosen maybe like 5 months ago. So I started doing the spiritual groundwork, and now I'm in sort of like my wilderness period, where God, brings you out of isolation. It's time for you to, it's time for him to test your mettle, test your merit, test your strength, spiritually, to see what you're about. God has to put you through the fire. We do not battle with the flesh. We wrestle with the spirits that people are under. Jezebel's spirit, Ahab, Leviathan, Python. People are under a lot of spirits. They're narcissistic, so that means you most likely have a legion of them. Jezebel is usually, common in women. Ahab and Jezebel is in men. Python, monitoring spirits. You got a lot of spirits in people. And that's what you wrestle against, as a lover of Christ, Yahweh, as a lover of God. Lover of Christ, Yeshua, as a lover of God, Yahweh. You wrestle with people's spirits. But you just have to realize that, isolation is not, God cursing you. It's not, I realized that, me personally, I'm introverted, so I sort of like being by myself. I've never really been a crowd person. I usually force myself in the past, because of like friends, family, and relationships, like to be around people. To be honest, like I don't really like being around people. Like I can, but it's not enjoyable for me. People call it arrogant. I'm just very introverted, and I just enjoy my own time. And I was a single child, to 12 years old. So I'm pretty used to being by myself, so it's just common. It's very common for me, being by myself. It's what I'm used to. But you just have to realize that in isolation mode, God just wants you to spiritually level up. He seeks you to read the Bible, arm yourself with the sword. The Bible, the King James Version specifically, arm yourself with the sword. You have to cloak yourself with the armor of God. You have to battle the devil with the word. Resist the devil and he shall flee. And, excuse me. So you have to realize, the time where you're going against people that are normal is done since 2020. You're wrestling with people's spirits and the spirits they're under. You're not really going against when people are doing foolish, things. It's not them. It's the spirits they're under. They just are under demonic strongholds or full demonic, possession, and they just don't understand it spiritually yet, or the demons that they're under will not allow them to clearly see it. Some people actually know, because some people practice witchcraft and, New Age Wicca and, divine feminine, and they understand, like, that's dark, forces that they're calling onto their soul, which is worse. Some people understand. So, you have to just realize that this is a new age. This is a very demonic, time we're in, where people are, trying to, pay homage to Satan instead of, like, rejecting him from their life, like, the days of old generations. It is what it is. You have to, we are not perfect, as chosen or of lovers of Christ, Yeshua. We're not perfect. People seek to, look at us and try to humble us, like we should be the second coming of Christ. We are just humans as much as you. We are not Christ. Christ was the only perfect man, in existence, since humans, was existed by Yahweh. He was the only one who could be perfect. We are not perfect. We cannot be perfect. We can only seek to, fight and battle our sin and the devil, daily. That's the only difference between us and other people, that we fight our sin, we seek to go to heaven. That we're not perfect. We still sin. We still will sin. You still will sin. On your chosen journey, on your spiritual journey, on any spiritual journey you're on, through Christ, you always will sin. Me myself, I smoke cigarettes, and I'm destroying my temple on a daily. But I know God is with me. God is always with me. I see it. I got the gift of discernment. I see it. God is always with me. God, angels are always around me. God is always with me. He's just building me up. He's building me a castle from the stones my enemies have thrown, while I was in isolation. Because they thought, everything was they don't understand, God, and how he works, and they don't understand the isolation period. So they thought, when I was in isolation, I was hiding, or no, I was just in isolation from God. I wanted to separate myself from people because I just realized people are demonic, and I just don't want to stay with, it's not a hiding thing. It's just a simple fact that, I'm a lover of Yeshua's teachings, and a lover of Yahweh, and people are not. So it's just like, I was getting closer to God. That's what isolation is about. You have to get closer to God, cloak yourself with the armor of God. Spiritually level up. And when you get to the middle grounds of your spiritual level, and this demonic agenda, this matrix, this, it'll become easy. You'll laugh it off every day. It gets annoying. Well, for me personally, I'm introverted and I'm very high intelligence, so a lot of stuff just annoys me, to be honest. Like, people just annoy me. People are very low intelligence. They're very childlike minds, reprobate minds. So it just annoys me sometimes, but, you just have to laugh it off. You have to realize what's going on. People are under demonic strongholds. People are under full demon possession. People are practicing witchcraft like it's hocus pocus, and it isn't making, they never did that years ago. So it is, or behind closed doors, but people do it on TikTok now. So you have to realize, the times we're under, people are paying homage to the devil more so than ever because they're foolish. This is the age of social media. A lot of things where people are of a reprobate mind where they're foolish. The end times. The mark of the beast is here. A lot of things happen. Jesus is going to come like a thief in the night. You have to be spiritually strong. You have to make sure that, if you are chosen, that your seat in heaven is good, and that as chosen, you're going to go to heaven because you're most likely a good person. You're most likely going to do good, fruits for Yahweh. But, seek to pay homage to Yahweh and bring other people with you, is how I say it. I want to pay homage to Yahweh. I want to bring other people with me, so my rank in heaven is stronger. That's what it's about. It's not about riches and excuse my language, bitches and stuff like that, and chains and money and sneak. I don't really care. I'm going to bring whoever wants to, come to heaven or be enlightened with me, and whoever, seeks to be a reprobate mind, foolish, dumb, wicked, and I'm leaving behind. And it is what it is, and peace and blessings. I just wanted to add, it may sound harsh to some people, and they may not understand. People of your old, once you become activated through Yahweh, and you change and you become, a different person, and you just, realize that the world is ended, and you just want to go to heaven, and you seek to do nothing else. People of your old life, family, your friends, relationships, they won't understand it. They'll try to get back in your life, but they don't understand that you have to leave them behind, because if you allow yourself to get in the mix with them, you're just gonna sit in misery with them like everybody else they know, till Satan shoves his red, shiny, a devilish boot up your behind. And I don't really got time for that. Yahweh is not playing. Lucifer is not playing. Everybody else is playing. You cannot play. This is not a game. Life is not GTA. You get 4 hearts. You can go to the hospital and revive or something. This is life. You get one chance at this, and it's done. One and done. So pass the test that God and the devil was giving you. And peace and blessings.